watching Gov's Radio. This is where you go if you want to see something or if you want to hear something funny. Coming up in just a couple minutes. This is a joke I told. What? I'm not on Gov Radio? Call the police. Call my agent. Hi, I'm Danny Bonaducci.
Tony, welcome to Go.
Hey, Joe, how are you?
I gotta pat you down though, pal.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Got anything on you? Anything I should know?
I got nothing.
Anything weird going on?
What?
Alright, you go in, Tony. Good.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Tom Kelly of The Tom Kelly Show. Yes, this is not the only time I've gotten on my knees in the back room of a comedy club.
The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show is also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. Give Two Eagles Auto Body a call and please ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527. That's 516-328-2527.
Hey, how do you say there, people? It's Johnny Brennan, creator of the Jerky Boys, also of Fox TV's Family Guy fame. I just want to let you know you're listening to Tony on the Knockem Dead Radio Show. You're gonna keep knocking them dead, so keep listening, you wacky sons of bitch. Right there. Over and out there, sweet Charlie.
Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, at Knockem Dead Comedy Radio.
Hey Tony, you're not funny, and you probably shit yourself a lot, and you're no fun to be with, and you don't make that much money, and you're not going anywhere in show business, and I hope you get hit by a bus.
Hello! Do it like that.
Hello!
Yeah, like that.
Hello!
Not like that.
No, that was awful.
The one you did when I wasn't...
Hello!
Okay, save it for when it's on.
Sorry.
God, you know, I turn off the microphone and you're like, gold. I turn the microphone on and I get, ah! Seriously, ready?
Hello! That was an idiot. Damn it. Hello! That was it. All right. This is the one. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
So yeah, do it like hey. All right, you ready from hey?
Hey.
Now.
Hello. Hey.
Knockem dead. Comedy show.
Hello.
Do it like that.
Hello.
Yeah, like that.
Hello.
Not like that.
No, that was awful.
The one you did when I wasn't.
Hello.
Okay, save it for when it's on.
What? Sorry. Okay, it's all right. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. It is Wednesday. Welcome to the Knockem Dead Comedy Show here on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast, the Facebook page, the YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the Facebook page. Please follow the Facebook page. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the thumbs up and share the links to all of our shows on all your socials and tell everybody you know about all the great shows here at Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. We are coming at you live, the Knockem Dead Comedy Show. We're coming at you live from the legendary Governors in Levittown, home of so many great comedians. Lots of great history in this building. Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. Thanks for joining us, the Knockem Dead Comedy Show. Mike is here.
Yeah.
Good to see everybody. Hope everybody is well. It would be nice if I got on the YouTube feed so I can see everybody's comments. Where are we? There we go.
Can you make that font bigger?
No. Actually, I don't know. Can you? John Rusciello says, good morning, gentlemen. I don't know, how do we, is there a way to do that?
Yeah, you got to go to settings or something.
What, on YouTube? Like, is there a settings on YouTube somewhere? Like, all right, what's that right there? Let's see. Nope, report or block. I don't want to report or block John Rusciello. Let's see, what about that? Oh, participants. No, that's not it.
Was that English?
I'll tell you. No. I don't know. I don't see a settings here. I will work on that for next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You are here next week.
I am. The
following week you're not. Okay.
I will be with my friend John, and we will call in if that's okay.
Of course, that's okay. I would love that. But I will work on the font. That sounds dirty. I want to work on my font.
The font. Well, our conversation before we went on the air, yeah.
Yes.
My font is on fire.
We were having locker room chat.
Locker room chat?
Yes. Isn't that what they call it?
But locker room chat is either talking about the game or something. No?
No. Locker room, yes, you could be talking about the game, but you're also talking about stuff that you can't talk about outside of the locker room.
I see.
Right? Didn't that term come to fruition during Trump when he said, what did he say, touch her in the pussy?
Yeah.
Isn't that how he defended it? Wasn't he like, it's locker room talk?
Locker room talk,
That was a horrible Trump impression, but I don't do impressions.
That was not very good.
Yeah, I don't do impressions.
I could envision Donald Trump wearing that T-shirt.
Could you?
Yeah, with the orange hair, yeah.
With the orange hair. This is... a lot of people associate Forrest Gump because he wipes the mud off his face. Right. Well, actually, he goes, it happens.
It happens.
He doesn't say shit.
Oh, right. That's right. The guy says, what do you mean, shit?
Right. It happens.
That happens.
I was talking yesterday with Diane, who was here yesterday, and I had mentioned to her that's one of my favorite all-time movies.
I don't know how it can't be.
Oh, so you're in agreement?
Yes.
Well, what is your number one? Do you have a number one?
Oh, God. You know me. I have several number ones.
Yes.
That's in my top 10. Shawshank, Forrest Gump. The Godfather is not my number one, believe it or not. And they say that's not one of the number ones of all time.
Oh, yeah.
But Brian's Song.
Oh, wow. I forgot all about that movie.
Yeah. Obviously the Lord of the Ring, Hobbit movies.
I personally think, and I said it yesterday too, I personally think Rocky, the first Rocky movie, I got the fire hydrant, John. I personally think the first Rocky movie is right up there with the first Godfather movie. I think it's that good.
So do I. So do I. And
I feel like there's a butt coming.
There's a. It's time to get hollered at. Where'd you get that at a garage sale for $1.75?
Yeah. Amazon.
Cannot get underneath your skin.
Excuse me? Mike just offered to get underneath me. I don't know what that means.
Oh, God. You just blew my whole trend of thought. Oh, Christ.
I bet.
Before you start this wonderful show and do your intros, I want to bring out, Michael and Tony, I've been a faithful watcher, all right, for this show since Michael introduced me to this show about a year ago.
Correct.
I only think I missed maybe one or two shows. And you are an articulate, wonderful host and commentator until yesterday. You were looking at Diane. You got all fucked up yesterday. It was the funniest thing. You made more mistakes yesterday. You couldn't. It was the funniest. I was sitting here laughing my ass off. Okay, and the more things she made a comment yesterday, something about she's going to do this, she's going to do that, or I'll laugh my tits out. Something. You went absolutely nuts. All right. It was it was one of the classic shows. I mean, you never do that. No matter who's on the show, no matter what guest, you're right on the money. You're right on spot on. You can't concentrate when this girl comes on the show. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure other listeners, if they're listening to this, maybe I'm wrong. But I know you pretty well. Like I said, we never met, but I know you pretty well. And the guy to your left, I mean, he's a total degenerate. But don't put him and her on the show together. Believe me when I tell you, it would be a crime scene. It would be a sexual crime scene in his mind. In his mind.
Or it might be the best day of her life. You never know.
Oh, I don't know, man. She's a wonderful lady. She's very attractive. She's very, very nice.
Yes.
Yeah. But boy, I tell you, all right, you had to see. I mean, and 2 days in a row, you couldn't put on the sound.
Yes.
But and then you yell at me. Call me back at 11:30. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to be nice. You can't type it in because there's a delay here.
I didn't yell. I didn't yell at you. I just said call back at 11:30 because I was busy at the time.
Yeah, we're busy. Well, thinking of Diane. Goodbye. Have a wonderful show. All right, Michael. I love your shirt. Goodbye.
This is a designer shirt.
What's with you in blue? You wear blue every week.
It highlights my eyes.
Oh, so it is. It's a conscious decision. Like you made a conscious decision to wear blue.
Yeah, warm weather I wear blue. It highlights my eyes, and when it's cold, I wear black
to highlight your asshole.
My darkness.
Oh, the way you said that too. My darkness. Somebody's got to get this man to play some kind of evil villain in a movie, man. He's got the look and the voice.
I scare Trish every morning.
What she does is open her eyes.
Yeah. You know what I do? She's in the shower getting ready for work in the morning, and I just stand like this close to the bathroom door, and I just make this face. When she opens the door, I just stand there like this. You have sex with me now.
And that does it for her?
No.
Yeah, I was going to say, mine went so far back in.
It scares her, though, when she opens the door.
Well, yeah. Is that how you get her in bed? Does that work for you? Let me scare her. She comes out of the shower and thinks she's going to die. Then she's just like all moist and ready.
It is exhilarating. Can I tell you about the Mary? John would appreciate this Mary story.
Oh, would he? He doesn't know it?
He does know it.
Oh, okay.
He bawled me out for about a month after I blew that shot.
Really?
Yes.
All right, well, tell the story, because then
unless you have things.
No, we got till 12:30. Plenty of time for our things.
You don't have to holler at me.
I didn't holler, and I didn't holler at that guy yesterday when I said, wait, call me back at 11:30, which, by the way, you didn't wait till 11:30. You called me back like 5 minutes later after the sound was back on. But I do appreciate you calling to tell me the sound was off. Yeah, I disagree with John. I would not bawl you out for a month, but tell the story first so we can all discuss.
Oh, as you know, I was single for a while, right, in the past several years. So when I made the conscious decision after I healed and I was ready to date again.
You didn't just heal. You healed.
I healed metaphysically.
You like
yes. Yeah,
healed.
That's
come back
here, you rabbit.
Totally unrehearsed. Go ahead. I think, did somebody just...
I don't know if he had a little stroke or he knocked on the door.
I think he knocked on the door.
Yeah, he knocked on the door. Pink, pink.
Okay. All right. Please tell your story.
So the first woman that I actually dated, we went on 3 dates. You know, we went to dinner, we went out for a drink, and then we went out for dinner again. On the third time we went to this restaurant in Smithtown, my car was in front of hers. Is that the eject button?
This is right now the red light means that it's on. Now it's off.
Now it's off.
I turn it off to cough or to take a drink. Or to,
right.
Wow. And I didn't want to interrupt.
Wow, you're
but
high
you
speed.
interrupt yourself.
You're high speed. So the third time we had dinner, she walked past my car, and I got in my car, so there was no kissing or nothing, right?
Okay.
So that's the third date. The fourth date, she says, now, John, if you're listening, you know the story. And this woman has been on my mind lately, not because of the woman, but because of the situation.
Okay.
Of how this happened in 3-4 dates we were talking about before this program. So the fourth day was a Friday night. She calls me up. She goes, I had a long week. Why don't you just come over if you don't mind? Bring over some Chinese food. We'll watch a movie. So I'm assuming in most men's eyes that means, oh boy, I'm getting lucky tonight. I'm going.
Yes.
She's inviting me to her home.
It would definitely cross my mind.
She lived
yes.
alone, but with this very large dog.
Okay.
So I bring my Chinese food. We're eating there nice, and we watch this movie, which was a horrible movie. I don't remember the name of it. But the dog was like a very friendly pit bull, very friendly, on top of me the whole time, in between us. So I wasn't even thinking that. I was getting slobbered on.
I had a
not
pit
by
bull.
her.
I had a pit bull, right, which is unfortunate. But if there's no other choice, no, I'm kidding. I had a pit bull, and yes, they think they're lap dogs.
They think that, yeah.
They can slobber a little bit.
And
They're
huge.
very friendly and playful
Yeah.
and big. My pit bull was 75 pounds.
That's a big dog.
And he thought he was a lap dog. He was
Yeah.
constantly on me. He did listen well. He was a very good listener. So if we were trying to get laid, I would have told the dog to get off. And then,
But I couldn't do that because
Right.
it was not my dog, not my
he
home.
won't, and he won't respond to you anyway because he doesn't know you.
Right. But she could have said that. So to make a long story short, I left 11:30, whatever, and I gave her a very nice kiss on the mouth, and I went home.
She was asleep.
Well, how did you know I gassed her? They
All right.
do sell chloroform on them. Never mind. Anyway, the next day.
Yes.
The next day.
The very next day.
Very next day, she calls me up and she goes, I don't think this is working for me. And we were getting along great. I actually really... What happened?
I don't know.
What was that? It was the stir.
Yeah, it's him out. It's him out
the
there.
stir of echoes.
I thought it was in here too.
Yeah.
I did. I was like, what the hell? We heard a voice. Yeah, right. It's them outside.
Well, I don't know about you, but I hear voices. So she calls me up the next day. I'm like, how you doing this night? She goes, I don't think this is working for me. Huh? She goes, do you ever think you're too much of a gentleman? She goes, I did invite you over. It was our fourth date. You haven't even really kissed me? So I said, wait a minute. If you're a modern woman, why didn't you make a move? I had a very large dog on me, right?
And your pit bull was driving me crazy.
Very good. So now, what's going on there?
I don't know what's going on.
Jerry Cooney out there?
Jerry Cooney? Where did that come from?
I know, I pulled it out of my ass. Jerry Cooney's, yeah.
There's noise. Jerry Cooney.
Jerry.
Anytime you hear noise, just think of Jerry Cooney.
That should be a thing.
No, it shouldn't.
No?
I like, actually, what should be a thing is just the random names.
Yeah, random name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Jerry
Who's that,
Cooney.
Mel Blanc?
Mel Blanc.
Well, he's dead. You can't use him.
Him and Willie Mays.
I know. Sorry, I know you're a big Willie Mays fan. I think. Well, for the last 2 years.
Big
of his
baseball
career.
fan.
Yeah.
But, I mean, appreciated Willie Mays. But
Yeah.
I was actually there when they retired his number last year. But he wasn't there.
They waited till 2023 to retire his number?
Well, yes, but that's the thing. I mean, the Mets retired his number. He was only with the Mets for like a year and a half.
2 years. Yeah, a year and a half.
And it was at the end of his career.
It was.
He didn't, and he spent some time on the disabled list during that time. I mean, unless you want to count the fact that he stayed within the organization after he stopped playing, he was a coach for the Mets, so maybe you could throw that in. I thought it was cool. I think he deserves it, but at the same time, he doesn't deserve it based on his Mets numbers. So,
No.
So I don't. The only reason they did it is because the Mets years and years ago did promise him that someday they would do it. So they finally came through on the promise all these years later. So at least they did it.
Mm.
You know, usually typical Mets fashion is, oh, he's dead. Oh, okay, let's retire his number.
Yeah.
So the Mets finally did something right there. All right, I want to go back.
So what's the rule?
That's the thing. Like, I'm sorry, Mary, I didn't get your handbook that says on the fourth
Yeah,
day.
the handbook. And then I said, wait a minute, aren't you looking for a gentleman to be in your life?
Right.
I mean, what did you expect me to do? She goes, well, what did you expect? It was our fourth date. You were in my home. We were by ourselves on the couch.
That is the difference between me and you. I eventually would have said to Mary, you going to get rid of this dog? Or Mary, you want to... I am... That's me. And because I'm not a gentleman.
I am now. So...
I would have done it playfully and respectfully, but I would have said something like, hey, if we go into the bedroom, we can...
Right.
I don't care to see the end of this movie.
People come into your life as lessons.
Sure.
I'm sure you've heard other people say, and this is not my quote, but some people come into your life for a season. And I learned a lot from her and the next one that I dated as well. But she was a great lesson for me. So I changed because of that. I changed. So I did become more ballsy, more forward. Ballsy is really not a proper term.
See, but it's a double-edged sword because you lost out because you were a gentleman, but if you're too forward, I don't think they really like that either. Especially at this age, it comes across. You can get away with being a little more forward in your 20s and 30s, but at this age, they're like, oh, that's creepy. I can't tell you. In fact, it happened to me recently. Don Sill was talking to somebody, and he didn't remember who the person was he was talking to. Either that or he was just covering for me. But he was like, yeah, I was talking to a guy, and I mentioned that I do stuff in Gov's studio, and the guy was like, oh, yeah, you do stuff with that guy who had a comedian in there, and he was really creepy with her. And he mentioned the comedian. I'm not going to say her name, but she's a young comedian. I thought it was a great show. I had a lot of fun with her. But then, this guy says to Don, oh, yeah, you work with that creepy guy who was all over that comedian. First off, I didn't think I was all over her.
Right.
Secondly, the stuff I was saying was just, it's just my humor.
Right.
It never dawned on me at all that she might be taking it seriously. Because she's a comedian, I assumed she wasn't. But it never even dawned on me that this could be creepy or taken in that way. Like, I thought we were just joking around on camera. I'd like to think there are plenty of females who will back me up and say, oh, yeah, he's just flirty. But, in real life, he's a perfect gentleman, and he would never – I don't feel threatened.
Right.
But when this happened, when Don told me that, it really kind of opened my eyes a little bit. I was like, oh, shit.
Wow.
Is that what? And I do think that's the case. You know, if we get too forward at this age, yeah, it's creepy. It might, maybe it depends on the age of the woman, too. But
Yeah.
But see, but
does.
that's what I said to you off the air. That woman, that's a perfect woman to me. Like, she's that mad she didn't get laid that she broke up with you. Like, she wants to get laid that bad. Like, sex is that important to her. Well, that's my
And I
kind
told
of
you,
woman.
I kind of liked her. And I said, well, we like each other. Why don't we just give it another shot? She's like, no, thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, what happened when you kissed her goodnight? Like there was no...
No, there was sparks. It was nice.
She didn't, kick Fido aside and, pulled you...
No.
Grabbed your hand. To come
it was at the door.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She didn't, pull you in and say, don't leave yet.
I mean, what did she expect me as soon as I walked in?
I hope so.
I mean, I was carrying a bag of Chinese food.
See, she should have said, pick up Chinese and your condoms and get over here.
Well, I had a vasectomy. I don't need condoms.
Oh, did she know that?
I don't think we got that intimate yet. We didn't get intimate at all.
Now, I don't know if this is a stupid question, but you had a vasectomy, but you could still spread a disease, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
So she would still probably ask for the condoms. So if she said, get the Chinese and the condoms, see, now that would have been more direct, and I would have known.
Well, maybe it should be get Chinese food. You're coming over to my house. Chinese food. Maybe we should
code?
just like Jerry Cooney. That's the code. So all the women out there, if you invite a man over, if you say bring Chinese food with you, please, that's it.
She actually did request Chinese food, or did you?
She did.
She did. Mm-hmm. I was going to say, because maybe if you brought it, maybe that would have upset her, because the dog would have been upset because you're probably eating a dog. Yeah, that it's so John. What? So what's John's beef? He feels that you should have seen the signs and.
Oh, absolutely. John lambasted me.
Really?
Lambasted.
Good
Lambasted.
word. Lambasted.
Yeah, he said, "You stupid son of a SOB." He goes, "You're in a woman's house, just you and her, and it's the fourth date. You didn't jump all over that."
So John even agrees that the fourth date is like.
No. He didn't say the fourth date.
Oh.
We didn't go over timelines.
Right.
But he said if a woman invites you over, she lives alone, and you kind of know her. I knew her for about a month at this point.
Yeah.
3-4 weeks.
I mean, and again, me being me, I would have probably joked right there on the phone. Oh, you want me to come over? Just me and you? I don't know if I can trust myself. I would say, maybe say something like that to see how.
Something playful. You know what? I'm sorry.
Ow.
Maybe I wasn't ready today. Maybe I wasn't healed.
Healed. Speaking of beautiful women, Carol Miner is watching. Hello, Carol. The Mets beat your Rangers again, Carol.
They did.
The Mets have won 7 straight games, and only the Mets can get a spark from Grimace. It's insane, right? But we'll take it. Grimace is now a Met, and
you listen to the fan?
Not really.
Not really.
But I know that everybody's talking about this thing.
Grimace. Oh, I don't listen to the fan very often. I was listening to it the other day, and in the afternoon, Evan Roberts, a woman called in and said her father owned like 30 McDonald's, right?
Nice.
And she explained what grimace meant.
Oh, it has a meaning?
It has a meaning. The color, because they were like, well, why is it purple? And it said the purple is the shade of your taste buds.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either. And then I guess Tiki was Googling it. He goes, yeah, that's right.
Oh, wow.
It was like aberchromatic taste buds or something like that.
Okay.
You know more things than me, especially about the Metsies.
The Metsies, yeah, but we're not talking about Metsies. We're talking about taste
Grimace.
buds and Grimace, yeah.
But I think last night they did it with the trumpets or some shit, right? Didn't they?
Did what with the trumpets?
Grimace. Oh no, they replaced Grimace with the trumpets.
Well, the Mets weren't home last night. They were in Texas.
Texas.
So maybe Texas did something with trumpets?
Yeah, I don't know.
Trying to break the spell, maybe, but
I'm not listening to you, John Rusciello said. What does that mean?
Where does it say that?
Near the top. Mike can draw his gun but can't pull the trigger. That's what he said to me.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the things he said to me. Oh boy, you can draw your gun but you can't pull the trigger.
Nice shirt. You look like the bee in the Blind Melon video. Yes, I do.
Mickey, I like it when Mike didn't talk.
Whoa! Hey!
Wow!
Fighting
What did I
words,
do?
Mickey. I don't know. Fremder, get the Chinese and the condoms. I don't want to get the Kaplan. The clap. Yeah.
Yes, I get it.
Carol, hey, let's be nice to the world champs. No, you're absolutely right, Carol. My only beef with Texas is that DeGrom is on the team. So that's.
I thought he was still out. He's back.
No, he's not back.
He's
still out, but he's still on the team. So that's the only reason why I want to see the Rangers lose, because DeGrom doesn't deserve it. He flat left us. Fremder, purple is the color of my taste buds, more like the color of my asshole after I eat a 6-piece. So when Grimace is going poo-poo or pee-pee, does he sing Prince? Or is that his? Or instead of Golden Shower, he's like, "Hey, baby, you want a purple rain?"
You have the cricket sound over there?
I do, actually. Purple rain, purple rain.
Have you ever heard Bruce and the E Street Band do the cover of Purple Rain?
I have, and he does it very well.
Well, Nils Lofgren kills it on
Yes,
that
he
guitar
does.
solo. Yeah.
I'll tell you, these are my 3 favorite covers of Purple Rain.
Oh,
Bruce, Clapton,
I haven't heard that one.
and Tom Jones.
Well, Tom Jones can sing the phone book.
Absolutely right. he
Yeah.
can. Yep. And it's weird how
And he's getting better as he gets older.
Yes.
It's amazing.
It's weird. Like the past couple of weeks on this show, we've been talking about him a little bit, like a lot actually. It's kind of weird.
That's a little weird.
But yeah, those 3 do a great cover of Purple Rain.
I haven't heard Clapton or
Even better, you can go on YouTube. So the song, the original Prince hit, that is a mixture of a live recording that he then enhanced in the studio, which I never knew until just a few years ago. Mm-mm. But if you go on YouTube, you can see there's actual video of that version when that went out before, but it's the concert that he's doing it in.
Yeah.
So it's extended because there's more verses, and it's before all the studio overdubs. It's very interesting to watch.
Wow.
To me, anyway. But yeah, there's extra verses.
He was
and
very
stuff.
gifted.
Oh, he was amazing.
Musician.
That's
my God.
That's one of my regrets as far as concerts. I never seeing
I never
him.
saw him either.
Never seeing him. Never seeing the Allman Brothers. Never seeing Rush. And and I wish I saw Sinatra.
I'm gonna go on record here, and John's gonna kill me for this.
Oh boy,
he's not my favorite Sinatra.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, I like Dean Martin much better than
Yes.
Frank Sinatra.
I knew that.
He just had more texture in his voice to me.
Dean did.
Dean.
Yeah, I agree with you. But if you go back to like Sinatra's beginnings, like when he first,
Yeah,
what a voice, man.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But his claim to fame wasn't his voice; it was his breathing technique.
Yes, actually, I have heard people say that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was brilliant, and that's what made him who he is. Never mind, I'm done.
All right.
Still thinking about Mary.
Happy Tuesday, says Mary. Hi, Mary.
I'd like to know what Mickey Delaney says when Mike doesn't. Should I leave?
Yeah, that's bugging you.
It's bugging me.
Fremder, Grimace throwing the first pitch. Are you sure that you weren't sitting in front of Vicky? What does that mean? Oh, Vicky, because she has the purple hair. Mary watching all the way from... Now, when you're talking about your date, Mary, who dumped you, we're not talking about Mary from England.
Oh, no, never Mary from England, no.
I love when the cheater lose, Carol. Mickey, that's the wrong team. That's Houston Astros. They're the cheaters.
Oh, yeah.
Scherzer, too, says Carol. Yeah, but Scherzer was done here, and I think the Mets traded him. Didn't they trade him to Texas?
Yeah.
I texted you and said that we are making your Mets look good. It's been a rough season with injuries for us, but our stadium is amazing.
Oh, the Rangers. I have heard it. It is an outstanding.
Oh yeah. Carol suggested that I come to these games, and I actually love the idea. Unfortunately, the truth is, it just came up on me, and quicker than I thought, and I just never really looked into it. Plus, we're planning a trip to England in August, so I just never. I would have loved to have done that, though.
Yeah.
To spend some time with Carol is always a good thing, and then to hit some baseball games, yeah, that would have been fun. My apologies, Carol. Fremdo, I have very fond memories of my grandfather and I going to Shea Stadium to watch the grass grow.
Oh God.
See, but that was always the Mets thing. I mean, that's why they were created in the first place. They just wanted to bring back old players that were loved in New York. I mean, that's why
Was it?
that was why they were invented in the first place. In 1962, their first year, that's all it was. People like Duke Snyder and all these former Giants,
Right.
and even some old Yankees were. They came. The Mets lost six. They only won, I think, 50 or 60 games that year.
Yeah.
And nobody cared. They were just happy to see their old players
Well,
again.
look at that. 7 years later, they won the World Series.
And now even that. I'm glad you brought that up because they were not doing well that year. It wasn't until the month of August where they went on this They were 12 games back at the beginning of August. And they went on this crazy tear through the month of August and caught up and made it to first place and then won the World Series.
Wow.
So we're just creeping up on the halfway mark of the season. The Mets they're hot right now. They're just about at 500 ball.
2 games under and only half a game behind the last wild card.
Right. So there's still hope here.
There is.
And Diane said it yesterday, even though it was hard to concentrate, John, with her sitting here. But she did say, they had their really bad run, but now it's a comeback. And we'd rather get the bad stuff done out of the way in the beginning of the season. Now we got it together.
Yeah,
let's get
usually
going.
by August they're cooked.
Yeah,
well, let's
maybe
see.
not
Hopefully
now.
they're going because I love the Mets.
I do too. Damn it. The Mets are stadium fertilizer, says Fremder. I'm going to smack Fremder in the face. Frank is asking, did we see Mays play when we were kids? I didn't. He retired after the 73 season, so I didn't. I don't know about – I know we had family that took you to games when I was still too little to go, so I don't know if you saw him or not. I didn't. We may have seen him as a coach.
As a coach, I remember.
Yeah,
As a player,
so we
no.
may have seen that.
I didn't start following the Yankees till 76.
Yeah, me too. Like when Guidry and
Yeah.
and Reggie and
Well, when Chris
Nettles.
Chambliss hit the home run
Yes.
against the Royals to win a playoff game, that's what got me.
I was at my daughter's bowling league on Saturday, and on the TVs they had ESPN on, but there was no sound. But there was this documentary about George Brett,
Oh,
and I'm watching and I'm seeing these clips of stuff that I had forgotten about, that I remember as a kid, because George Brett was like number one enemy back then.
oh,
If you were a Yankee fan,
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
He had that fight with Nettles, and he was a hothead, and he was
a
very
hothead.
arrogant. It brought back a lot of memories as a kid, so I'm like, fuck, I got
did they show the pine tar bat?
Yeah, of course.
Well, that's the pinnacle of
And the thing I remember with that, the umpires are looking at the bat.
Billy Martin.
Billy Martin's standing there, but so is Greg Nettles.
Well, I don't remember Greg Nettles standing there.
And you see the umpires, like Nettles is standing so close, he must have heard them say, yeah, we have to call him out. Because he starts to walk away and he starts pumping his mitt like this. And then, sure enough, the umpires then, turned and do the out signal, and that's when Brett comes flying out. But, yeah, just before the umpire puts his hand up, you see Nettles going like this, pumping his mitt.
Wow.
I'm like talk about a sore winner. But those guys, they hated each other.
They hated each
and
other.
Nettles was not a guy to mess with. He fought all the time.
All the time.
He was involved in that crazy game between Atlanta
man.
and San Diego where they had 4 fights in the one game.
4 fights, and I think he broke a guy's shoulder.
Yes, I think Pete Rose broke a guy's shoulder.
Yeah. But Nettles also broke a guy's shoulder, ruined the guy's career just about. Forgot who it was.
Nettles was not a guy to mess with.
No.
But so I'm watching this more than I'm looking up at the TV watching this more than I'm watching the bowling. I'm like, son of a bitch, I got to go home and find this on demand or something. I gotta watch this.
Well, being a
documentary.
Yankee fan, I've watched almost everything on George Brett.
Oh yeah,
he was a prick.
He was a prick.
He was a great baseball player.
Yes, he was.
He was.
I always felt bad for his brother, Ken Brett.
Yeah, because he was a nice guy.
He was a nice guy. He was a decent pitcher.
Yeah.
He stopped playing ball because he had stage fright.
I did not know that.
He couldn't handle playing in front of all the thousands of people in the stands.
Wow.
Stage fright. Yeah.
But he did it growing up, not to that magnitude.
Not to
of
that
course.
magnitude, right? And then he did make the major leagues.
Oh, yeah.
Did he? He may have been on Kansas City with George.
I don't
forget.
remember.
I forget who he played for, but I remember that much, that he stopped playing because of stage fright. Yeah. Is that crazy or what?
He should have taken an acting class.
He could have taken a comedy class like Mike Kaplan's going to do. From Dirt. So unfortunate to lose the New York Mets. Mays he rest in peace. Carol, Nolan Ryan's bloody nose pitching after beating the crap out of someone is badass.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he beat the snot out of
Ryan. Did you see
Robin
him throw
Ventura.
out the first pitch the other?
Yep.
Was it last year? It was
I
like
think it was last
82
year.
miles an hour.
Yep. I did, yeah.
That guy, his arm is sick.
And that was a good documentary, the one on him.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed that one. The best one of the best baseball documentaries I've ever seen was just came out maybe 2 years ago, was the Yogi Berra one.
Have not seen it.
Oh, Michael, go watch that. It's fantastic.
Really?
Yes. That and the Captain, the Jeter one. Although that was like
I've
a
seen
mini
it.
series. There was like 8
that was
episodes.
Do you know, as you know, he was not my favorite player.
Yeah.
But after I watched that, I saw him in a totally different light.
Yep.
Yeah.
That guy is as close to perfection as it gets.
Oh, my God.
Never a bad thing heard about him.
Nope.
Never did anything wrong on the field.
Nope.
Never did anything stupid.
Never said
Always,
anything
right. Always,
sideways, nothing.
Always there in the clutch.
Yeah.
Like, it's, like I can't think of a single time where he didn't come through in the clutch.
Do you remember the last at-bat in Fenway? He got a standing ovation.
Yes. Yes, he
I
did.
mean, what player can say that?
Right. Right. Absolutely right. Yeah, the Yogi Berra documentary.
I'll have to watch that.
Jeter. Did you ever see the Gary Carter documentary?
Yes.
Oh, that gets me, man. That makes me cry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the way his, it's just a shame.
But I was actually a big fan of Gary Carter. I thought he was great.
Love that guy.
I loved him. The way he played.
Yep. I didn't like how, and I know his fellow teammates didn't like either, how much he loved the camera. There were definitely times towards the end of his career where I was saying, Gary, spend less time in front of the camera and work more on your game because you're starting to lose it. But
wasn't he called the Kid?
The Kid, yeah. And that's why. But all of those 86 Mets, those guys were doing coke and drinking and partying up. They were the ones who, and Gary Carter wasn't. He was telling them they should have, find faith and do the right thing. They blew him off. And now they all say he was the right one. We were wrong. Good morning.
Good morning again. Hi, Michael.
Hi. I don't know how to work these things.
It's just headphones. You just put them on your ears. There you go.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm splendiferous.
Where were you driving to today?
I am in the Boogie Down Bronx.
Did you say the Boogie Down Bronx?
That's right, the Boogie Down Bronx. That's where all the other people are to celebrate Juneteenth.
Oh, my God.
Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth. We didn't say that. Happy Juneteenth.
I was getting to it. It's on my list. It's right there.
Right there.
Oh,
But I figure you guys be all soaked up talking about Willie Mays Hayes.
Willie Mays Hayes. Yes,
That's
he was
funny.
He was a tremendous base stealer. Yes,
Wesley
he was.
Snipes.
Yes.
Yeah, he was. He stole first base with me one time back in 1963.
1963.
I wasn't even born.
Yeah, Mike wasn't even born, let alone you.
Don't you worry about my age. I just look very beautiful for my age.
Well,
I use a lot of toner.
Well, yes, toner, not Tony. You don't use any of that.
Oh, and I feel like such a little shit. I forgot to go ahead. I forgot to say Happy Father's Day to you the other day.
Oh, that's all right. Happy Father's Day to you, too.
Why, thank you. Why, thank you.
How did you celebrate Father's Day?
By not finishing in another woman to create another Father's Day to celebrate.
Oh, my God.
Wow. Somebody's on fire today.
Wow.
Yeah, and I use a cream for it, too.
I figured it was that Coke that you enjoy.
Just for the taste of it, lick it up.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Wow, you're very feisty today.
I am, because my nipples are hard.
Well,
they're poking out out of my shirt so much you can play Tune in Taiwan. It's like it's like the Wish version of Tune in Tokyo, you fuck. Listen up.
Or they're so hard you can cut glass?
Why would I want to cut glass? Do I look like I blow glass? I just blow. Anyways, how are you, Michael? I miss you and that cute little bald head of yours.
Oh, I miss you too, my little kitten.
He says all the right things that make me all jumbly inside.
Are you on your way back from?
No, I'm on my way in. Yeah, I'm sitting there. There's a shitload of traffic. You figured all those construction workers would take advantage of like another made-up holiday.
Oh my goodness.
You know, like they would be off for like Arbor Day, National Pancake Day. They got to have all those days off. You know, union.
Yes, and we're proud to have our National Pancake Day.
Exactly.
The pancake people who make pancakes should be unionized.
Yeah, right. They should be. Those things are like little tastes of Jesus. It tastes so good.
What?
What?
I don't know. I went to IHOP one day and I tasted their pancakes, buttermilk, and it tasted like Jesus. It was wonderful.
See, that's the thing. You go to the more you talk to him, eventually you get to a point where you don't know what in the hell he's talking about. IHOP.
Anyway,
That's my favorite restaurant.
Is it?
Well, you know, because I hop.
Did you know it's the Easter Bunny's favorite restaurant?
It's the Easter Bunny's favorite restaurant too. Yes. Well, it's better than tasting like Jesus. Isn't that what he said?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Don't we get to taste? Listen, all I know is that I believe that Jesus was a really, really big fat guy. Because how else are all those churches supposed to have all that fillet of him? This is the body of Christ. 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 I was like, wow, they're really getting their money's worth off this guy.
Well, those wafers are almost as white as your legs.
Yeah, they are. They're almost as transparent as them, too. If you look closely, you can see the other side.
Well, that's your head.
That's true also. Echo.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Anyway, I don't want to disturb the show. You got baseball, Juneteenth. You got Michael in there. He's so handsome. And I'll talk to everybody later. I love you. I gotta go. Bye.
How to get the obligatory beep beep.
Absolutely. Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Is that Jeff Bosey?
It was Jeff Bosey,
okay.
yes. The expressions and opinions expressed by Mr. Jeff Bosey do not reflect the opinions and expressions
Very good
of
disclaimer.
Gov's Comedy Club podcast or this show or anybody on it or any of you. Wow. Jeff on fire today.
A little traumatized, I think.
Yeah, a little bit. Yogi's Doc is one of my favorites. I cried, says Carol. John Rusciello, my father took me to the polo grounds in the late 50s.
Yes.
I was too young to remember, yeah.
And him and I have had conversations about Steve Dillon. You remember Steve Dillon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, because John was going to get him on this show, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And he never came through.
Yeah.
Bitch. Then Carol says Hernandez, Carter, and actually Dykstra were her favorites. Carol, did you hear us talking last week about Lenny Dykstra?
Yeah.
If you're not doing so already, follow Lenny Dykstra on X, formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah.
The poor man has.
I looked at it after you said that. Wow.
He's lost it. The man
He's lost it.
I mean, he was on the verge of losing it for years, but I think he's finally crossed that threshold.
He's tanked.
Yeah, he's a mess.
Yeah, he's a mess.
His Twitter, he's constantly asking for places where he can appear to sell his autograph so he can make money. Mm-hmm. But you have to provide him with a ride, and you have to provide him with a room to sleep in that night. I'm really under the impression this guy is homeless. And he's in this area. He bounces back and forth between Long Island and the Philly area because those are the two teams he played for. So he's constantly, and it's quite often you'll see on Twitter, I'm in Suffolk County, I'm in Smithtown, I'm in this town, I'm in that town, on Long Island. Who wants to give me a ride and I'll sign you an autograph for you? Like, it's constant. And then you go back to mid-April, and he writes, hanging out on Long Island tonight. If anybody wants to come give me a ride, make sure you bring the white. And that's, I was like, oh, this poor bastard. He is just a mess, man.
Let me ask you a question. Is his autograph still worth anything?
My guess is that it's not.
Because he like you said, he was a very good baseball player.
He was a very good baseball player, but first off, you're still alive. Your autograph skyrockets after you die. But also, he wasn't. I mean, he's not in the Hall of Fame. He's not.
No.
You list your top 10 baseball players. I don't think he's on that list. Even if you break it down to your top 10 Mets, I don't think he makes that list. Maybe your top 10 Phillies. Maybe. Well, all right. Top 10 Mets: Mookie, Hernandez, Carter.
You think Mookie's in the top 10?
Well, he's in my top 10.
Oh, and I see your top 10.
But I'm also going as far as, I mean, Mookie. Yeah, he's not in the Hall of Fame either.
I loved Mookie.
But he had more of an impact on his teammates and the fans, and on the games. Lenny had an impact too, and he was an exciting player. But I don't think he was the same stature as Mookie Wilson, Gary Carter, Keith Hernandez.
Great.
Tom Seaver, of course, makes the top four. Mike Piazza, David Wright, Rusty Staub, Darryl Strawberry, Doc Gooden.
There's the first pitcher. Isn't that wild? Like number 8 is a pitcher.
Well, I said Seaver.
Oh, Seaver.
So, but I have 9, and the number 10 is definitely not. Is definitely not going to be Lenny Dykstra.
No.
I'm tempted to say Ed Kranepool, but no.
Did you say David Wright?
I did say David Wright. Oh, Jose Reyes. Jose Reyes, talk about an exciting player. Blows Lenny Dykstra away, in my opinion. So, no, I don't think.
You know I'm a big Francisco Lindor fan.
Yes, I do know that.
I do. I think he's a better player than Jose Reyes.
Okay.
Interesting.
Do.
But not with the Mets.
Yeah, definitely
when
not.
He was on with Cleveland.
Yes.
For some reason, he's trailed off. I don't know.
But anyway, so no, I don't think Dykstra. Yeah, I don't think his autograph is worth much. I think this is a guy who'll take $20 for an autograph.
Wow.
Because that's just my opinion based on what I've seen on Instagram, on Twitter, rather.
Bob Apodaca, I remember him. He was a good pitcher.
I have a funny Bob Apodaca story, actually. Oh, it's Frank. That's why Frank says it.
Yeah.
Frank and I had an uncle who was a banker, and I don't remember what bank or where it was, but Bob Apodaca was one of his clients, one of his customers.
Yeah.
And so Bob Apodaca gave my uncle tickets to a game.
Nice.
So it was my uncle, his wife, and me and Frank. And this was 1977 or 78. And these they weren't even good seats. We were pretty high up, yeah. But they were playing the San Diego Padres, and Dave Kingman comes to bat. He's on the Padres. He did 2 stints with the Mets, but at the time he was with the Padres. In the late 70s, Dave Kingman is in his prime.
Oh, yeah.
There were some men on base. I don't remember if the bases were loaded or not, but there were definitely men on base. Kingman comes up. Bob Apodaca's pitching, and I turn to my uncle and I say, I got to go to the bathroom.
Oh.
And because I'm 7 or 8 years old, I'm not understanding the excitement, what this means at that moment.
Oh, I see what's coming.
Yeah, my uncle says, all right, just wait a minute. And I said, no, I can't. And this was not the days of sending. Well, I don't think you'd send a 7 or 8 year old by himself anyway.
Yeah.
So my uncle's like, no, you got to wait. So no, I can't wait. He's like, fine. So we go, and we hear the roar of the crowd from the bathroom. Bob Apodaca struck out Dave Kingman.
He struck him out. I thought it was going to go the other way. Dave Kingman hit a moonshot.
Nope. Bob Apodaca struck him out, and we missed it.
Wow. That's a rare event.
Yeah. Now, my aunt, the piece of shit she wouldn't even get up for the national anthem.
What?
She was in a mood, and she had a hat on, and she sat there for the national anthem. She refused to get up. And and then after the game, I swear, Frank will back me up on this. We leave the game. We're driving on, I don't know, whatever. I don't know if it was Long Island Express or I don't know what, again, too young to know where the hell we are. But we're driving on the highway. We're in the left lane. Here comes a car in the center lane, and now we're kind of even. It's Bob Apodaca.
Come on.
I swear to you, Frank will back me up. So he's on the passenger side. My uncle's driving. So, because it's to the right. My aunt, I don't know why she just didn't, get and point to my uncle so that Bob Apodaca could see him. I don't know why she didn't just do that. Instead, she is screaming like a maniac. Bob Apodaca! Bob Apodaca! And I swear to you, he's driving, he's going like this. And she just wouldn't stop. Bob, Phil Salentano's in the car. Oh, I said his name. Well, too late. He's in the car. It's Phil. She was shrieking and yelling and screaming. That I don't think he understood what in the hell she was even saying. Right. And you see, he's looking at her. And now we're doing the same. Like, would you calm down? What the hell is your problem? But she wouldn't. And he eventually, when he saw the opportunity for him, he sped off and he got away from us. Never. And then Frank just recently told me that Bob Apodaca did eventually see my uncle at work again and said, later on, it registered what this crazy woman was yelling. And so he said, were you driving that car? Was that your family? And he's like, yes, that was me.
So she was not a well woman.
I haven't talked to her in 25 years. Or my uncle, for that matter. I haven't talked to him 25 years.
Him either?
No, he's, we're done. We're done.
Wow.
So I
So you got the Mary treatment.
Yes.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have sex with me. Their dog was in the way. So I said, you two are out. No, they, this was also my godfather, my mother's youngest brother. My mother's one of 6. They're the Brady Bunch, actually. 3 boys, 3 girls.
Wow.
But he's the youngest, and he was just not a nice person and was not there for his family. And he chose to leave the family for reasons that really aren't really clear to me. But after a while, I was like, okay, well, you've made your decision. I tried to keep in touch with him for a while. I even gave him a place to live for a while. That's a whole other weird story. And he still did not treat me well.
Is he still alive?
As far as I know.
Oh, as far as you know.
He's not. Well, he's not in the state. He moved out of here. He moved out of New York over 30 years ago. So.
Oh.
Yeah. But actually, I'll be honest with you. He didn't come to me and Lisa's wedding, and he said he would, and he didn't show up. A wedding that you were there.
Yeah.
But then what got me was then, what was it, maybe 9 to 10 months later, when Sammy was born, we had her christening, and we had a party, and he said he'd be there for that, and he didn't show up to that either. And that's when I said, no, you did that to me long enough.
Yeah.
Treated me like shit for a long time, and I've given you many chances. Now you're going to do that to my kid? No, we're done. And then, so that's when I stopped. But then they owned a business for a while, and on their website had the little About Us section. It goes on and on about how much they love their family, all their nieces and nephews, and then it names them, but it's all her family, her side of the family. And that sparked me. So I wrote a very nasty email.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. To which they never responded, but they did tell other people. I don't remember who exactly, but they told other people, and it got back to me that, I had no right to say this stuff and how much it upset them. Yeah. And then when I got sick, I think it was Frank had reached out and said, just let you know, Tony's not well. He's very ill. And they wrote back, well, I'm sure he's got all the support he needs. Yeah. So that was, okay, we're done here. So, yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, and this, But again, but that's why I threw in the part about the national anthem to give you an idea of the type of piece of shit we're dealing
Back
with.
then, why would?
Yeah, this was the 70s, for crying out loud. Because she just didn't feel like getting up. It wasn't a political statement.
Oh, she just.
It was just, I'm a spoiled little bitch, and I don't feel like getting up.
Oh my!
That's all
God.
that was. Oh yeah, she was in a mood that day. I don't think she was a baseball fan, and she sat there with her little sun hat, and yeah, just miserable the whole time. Yeah, and I hope she hears this whole thing. But yeah, wow, didn't see that coming today.
I know.
Yeah, John Ruscio. Oh, Steve Dillon threw the ball last year. Oh, Steve Dillon threw the ball last year, clocked in at 81 miles an hour. So we're not talking about the same pitcher. Isn't Steve Dillon that old pitcher that only pitched? Really?
Yeah, he only pitched for like a couple of games, I think.
Yeah, but isn't he like 80 years old now or something?
Yeah.
And he still threw at 80-something miles an hour?
I didn't know that. I know he threw out the first pitch.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't remember hearing that.
Nolan Ryan, I knew threw 80 miles an hour.
Yes. Well, that's true, too. He's got to be pushing 80 himself. So, yeah, I guess it is possible. Wow. Fremder, I love watching women's baseball, especially when they pump the mitt on the mound. Sounds like he drives that truck while drinking Diet Cock. That was Fremder, I feel bad for the seat Jeff has to sit on. Yeah, me too. Carol, not a fan now and not on Twitter. Yeah, it's a shame what the guy, what's become of that guy. It really is a shame. He sounds like David Lee Roth. He's lost his mind. It is very sad. I don't know if David Lee Roth has lost his mind as much as Lenny Dykstra has, but David Lee Roth is definitely, he's definitely out there. And I think he still has his money too. He doesn't appear to be hurting. Jeff Posey, when he says, give me the white, does that mean to give him my man juice on his face? Ugh. Again, that's what I get for not reading in advance.
There you go.
$20 for an autograph and bring the white. It sounds like Dykstra is still on base. Rusella, you can choose your friends, but you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. That is correct.
Absolutely.
We said that yesterday with Diane. We got onto this topic, and I said, family is not blood, in my opinion. And my mother just texted me. She said she still has the email that I sent to them. I did not know that.
Really?
And how did you get it? Because I'm surprised I would even show it to you because I wasn't very nice to them. Wow. Send it to me. I don't think I have it. I'd like to see it. Wow.
That's pretty cool that your mother kept it all this time.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked. And
I'm not shocked.
Well,
mothers keep things like that.
True.
Yeah.
But I think if I read it now, I would laugh.
I would love to
I'm
know
a hothead,
if she
so I'd
spoke
laugh.
to him.
Oh, she has spoke.
In the past 20 years.
Yeah, she has.
She has.
I do think. Well, so he's the youngest. The oldest of the six is another one of her brothers.
Yeah.
It actually almost works like the Brady Bunch. It's boy, girl, girl, boy. So it's almost.
Where's your mom and all that?
She's the smack middle. She's number 4.
She's in the middle. Okay.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, there's 3 above her, 2 below her, but she's number 4. The youngest is 20. Is 10? Yeah, she's in the middle. The youngest is 10 years younger than her. The oldest is 10 years older than her.
Wow.
Yeah, and the oldest and the youngest, they're 20 years apart, almost to the day. It's only 1 day apart. The youngest birthday is September something. The oldest guy his birthday is the very next day. So they're pretty much exactly 20 years apart. Yeah. So wow. So when the oldest, he has passed away. That's my Uncle Tony. One of the greatest people you'll ever meet in your life. He was just a real stand-up guy, took good care of his family, was a volunteer fireman, he was a Marine, and funny guy. Yeah, but he unfortunately passed a few years ago, and my mother did call the youngest to let him know, and he refused to come see him before he passed. So I think that's what finished it for my mother. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that's
feel
what.
Bad for your mother that happened.
And also that same one, the youngest, when my grandmother was dying, his mother, who I was very close to because I lived with my grandmother for the first 12 years of my life, she said to him on her deathbed, she said, "You have to fix things with your brother. You have to get back in the family, you know." And he promised her, "Yes, Mom, I'll do that for you. I will do that." And to this day, he has yet to keep that promise. And my grandmother's been dead for 35 years. So yeah, real.
Is it because of the wife, you think, or him?
You know, I used to say I don't know that for fact. I think that's what his brothers and sisters say. I think. And I used to feel that way too, but no. You made the choice to follow your wife's lead. You made the choice to not stand up for yourself. After 30, well, actually, this has been going on for 40 years at this point, since he pretty much pulled himself out of the family. You made that decision. Yeah. And there was never once a sign of trying to get back, come back or fix things or apologize. Never, not once. So no, I wouldn't blame her. No, you made that choice to follow her. So
they have kids. So you're not even close to the kids or anything.
They actually don't have kids.
Oh, they don't never had children.
Never had children, and I have no idea why, but
maybe they never had relations.
Yeah, maybe. Poor bastard, but he deserves it. Both of your shirts combined, you two look like today's forecast. Sunny and blue outside. It's a nice sunny day.
Who said this now?
Fremder said that.
Fremder.
So, so it is Juneteenth. Happy June. I guess, you can say Happy Juneteenth, right? It's a good day. It was a very historic day on the positive note. So, you can say Happy Juneteenth. I don't know how you celebrate. I don't know what people do. Like, do they have fireworks? Do they have barbecues? What do they do? I don't know. I'll have to find that out.
Do they celebrate Abe Lincoln?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, do you say Happy President's Day to somebody? Like a sad day? Do you say Happy Memorial Day? You're remembering veterans. Well, yeah, Veterans Day is more like remember veterans who passed, right? It's the other way around.
That's a great point. Because my son and I were talking on Memorial Day.
Oh, okay, yes. That's when you remember the dead veterans.
Yes.
To be blunt. But
no.
So say Happy Memorial Day is weird.
No, we don't say Happy Memorial Day.
But some people do.
Most people do because they get a 3-day fucking weekend.
Right.
And that's why they say it. $1.75 and I guess it was probably $2.25 at a garage sale, and you said, "I'll give you $1.75," right?
That's what I don't like about holidays.
That's what I don't like about holidays.
Because you forget the reason we have the holiday in the first place.
Right.
And it makes me nuts. Like for President's Day, every car dealership, every furniture store has a little, Abe Lincoln says, "Go buy the BMW."
Yeah. Happy Memorial Day. We have a big sale going on. Happy day, happy day, happy day.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I did on Memorial Day, believe it or not? And I'm not touting myself, but I actually took Trisha and we went to Calverton.
Okay. Did you place American flags on graves?
No.
Me and Zach used to do that.
You did.
We did that for years with the Scouts,
right?
Yeah. But
that's
anybody
amazing,
can do it,
isn't it?
Yeah,
Anybody
I like to do that again.
But what I did, we went there. I fixed a lot of them that fell over. But actually, I just walked around and I prayed and I honored all the. I did my own little part because it is not a happy holiday,
right?
It's really not.
Right.
It's not.
Was your father a veteran?
No.
Oh, he wasn't. Oh, okay.
No, but he went to the recruiter because he got a draft notice.
Okay.
In 1962.
Okay.
And he went to the recruiter, and the recruiter says, "Okay," and they got to talking. Do you have kids? And he said, "Yes, I have a son." And at that time, John F. Kennedy's rule was if you had one child, one son, you didn't go. So
your brother wasn't born yet?
He was just born.
Oh, you weren't born yet?
I was not born yet.
Okay.
So they just had one child, and that was the rule. So he.
Oh, no kidding! I didn't know that rule.
He didn't have to go into the military.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he would surely went to Vietnam. I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Was he upset about not going, or was he like, "Whew"?
I think he was kind of upset about it for a while.
Sure.
10 minutes maybe.
Because a lot of people do. A lot of people wanted to go.
Yeah.
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 Wow. Yeah, but that's cool that you went to the cemetery.
I loved it. It was peaceful. And it was actually sad. Not a lot of people there.
Really? Well, but the flags were placed. So they were there.
the volunteers.
Right.
Yes. No, I'm talking about visitors.
Oh.
There were not a lot of visitors there.
Really?
No. It was odd to me.
That is odd, but at the same time, I'm not surprised because if you discount the Gulf, which thank you, sir, for going there for us. If you discount that, you go back to Vietnam, which at this point was 60 years ago. Well,
what about, you know how many Iraq and Afghanistan veteran tombstones I saw?
Oh, did you? Yeah.
A lot, yeah.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot.
Okay.
Kids that, young men that were in their 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's a beautiful cemetery.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
You've been there?
I have.
Yeah, it's beautiful. You've been to a service there?
Calverton?
Yeah.
Twice.
You've been to 2 services there.
My Uncle Tony, so 3. My Uncle Tony, who I just mentioned a few minutes ago. My buddy Rob Sayforth, who watches the show sometimes. Today is his birthday as well. Happy birthday, Robert. Hope you have a great day. And I'm very excited. Rob he's one of my best friends, one of my longest friends, and I've known him for a long time.
How long have you known him?
I've known Rob since late 70s. It's his birthday today, but he lives in the Philly area now. So there is a slight possibility I'm going to see him this weekend.
Nice.
So I'm very excited about that. I haven't seen Rob in a good year or so. All right. Is John Rusciello a veteran?
No.
He's not. Yes, sir.
You want to piss Kaplan off?
Yes.
Okay. You're on air. Watch his face.
Okay.
Hey, Kaplan, you were in that bullshit war, right? That 18-hour war?
That motherfucker.
I mean, what kind of fucking war was that?
Motherfucker.
That piece of shit, Greek, no good, rotten bastard. He should get cancer in the balls.
I'll have to tell you this story.
And we used to like the guy.
We used to like this guy who said that to me.
Oh, somebody actually said that to you?
He said it to me in front of him. He's witness.
Really?
And I threw him out of my garage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hope you just step back and let Mike take action.
Well, no. Mike's a gentleman. Mike just looked at me. I would have smacked the guy in the face. I really would have. All right, and we really like this guy, but he's a Vietnam vet. He's a bullshit. I shouldn't say bullshit. No Vietnam vet is a bullshit vet. Yeah. But he tried to upplay his. I was wounded. I was this. I was that. And he Michael turned around and while we were discussing, Michael was in 2 wars, and he looked at Michael straight in the face and he said, "Oh, that was a bullshit war." Wow. And I looked at this guy. I go, "What the fuck did you just say?" I said, "Get out of here! I said, go home. Go where you belong."
John did say it. What the fuck did you just say?
Yeah.
Because I was like,
"Yeah, I mean, but you see how you get a rise on Michael. It's very hard to get. I mean, that girl couldn't even get a rise on Michael when he was in her apartment.
Well, she tried to get a rise out of him. It didn't work.
No, it didn't work. No. Kaplan is the perfect guy. I said it, and I wrote it. He can draw his gun, but he can't pull the trigger. If John Rusciello was in that woman's apartment, I would have probably done the dog as well. Goodbye.
Did he hang up?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
He said goodbye.
I didn't hear goodbye.
He said I probably would have done the dog. Goodbye. And then he hung up.
Oh, my God.
That's fantastic. And this guy was a veteran himself?
A Vietnam veteran.
Why would
he was a little, like 10 years older than me.
And why would he say that? Just because it didn't last as long as
No, because he just thinks that the Vietnam vets are the best.
Was he in the rest of them that he would even know that?
No, he was in Vietnam.
That's what I'm saying. So how would you know?
No, and I said, I was in Iraq for nearly 2 years, and then I was in the first Gulf War, and we became friendly. And one night we were just hanging out in John's garage, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that was a bullshit war. Would that last 4 days, or whatever it was?"
That is so weird.
And then, but I think what John's leaving out, is how I get back at people is not by saying "fuck you." Is what I said was, maybe we didn't do a lot of fighting there. But what I did was the living conditions were disgusting. And I'll say his name. His name was Pete. This guy's name was Pete. I said we slept in the dirt. There was one time, almost a month went by, we had to scavenge for our own food.
Wow.
It was very, very tough. And then John threw him out, yeah.
You would think a guy who's been in a war, you think he'd be more.
No, he said, I had it much tougher than you in Vietnam. And probably he did. I'm sure it was a jungle. But try living in the desert for 10 months. In the middle of a desert.
But does not. All right, so let's say he did have it worse. But does that mean that yours was a country club? Like, yeah, and I say that about cancer all the time. I say that about cancer all the time. I survived it. I'm 100% fine now. And I know plenty of other people who had it a lot freaking worse than me, but that doesn't mean this didn't suck.
Right.
And I would never say, oh, look at you. You have all 4 of your limbs. Like, I say it jokingly, but I would never say that seriously to
So would
somebody.
you say that to me I've had thyroid cancer?
Yeah.
Because I remember that when the doctor called me up and says, it's cancerous, but you have the good cancer.
Okay.
But when I started going to the endocrinologist.
I personally don't think there is such a thing.
No, I don't. But she said that.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, you got the good cancer. They'll take it out. You go on Synthroid the rest of your life, this and that. But it can, it can't show up like on your leg, 20 years from now.
Right. No, it's cancer. End of story.
Yeah.
I have a friend who had a cancerous mass outside of his liver. They just had to take it out. And that was his whole cancer story. His cancer story is a lot better than mine, but he still had cancer.
Yes.
I have another friend who I won't say his name because he did not go public with this. He's got leukemia. He was just in the hospital 2 or 3 weeks ago. He's actually had leukemia for, I think, 7 years. But they just monitor him, and he's been fine. There's been actually no signs of it. They just happen to find it in his when doing a blood test. But sure enough, about a month ago, he was having trouble breathing. He was getting winded easily. He was very fatigued. So, his wife was like, get to the doctor. And sure enough, the leukemia was starting to rear its ugly head.
Yeah.
He was in the hospital for, I think, 2.5 weeks. So he called me after about a week in and told me what was going on. I had no idea. So I went to the hospital. I went to see him, and he looked like shit. But he was up and walking. His attitude was good. It was at the time they were saying just a few more days, and we'll figure out a treatment program, and you'll get to go home. Well, I just saw him last night, and he's back to. You would never know there was something wrong. His color is good. He gained some weight back. He's moving. He's active. He's doing great. So, and he's doing he has started some kind of chemo program.
I see.
But not once am I saying, oh, great, look at you. You got your limbs and you're back in action and you got your life back. Like, no, it sucked. It probably not as bad as mine. I mean, you know it. You were there. I mean, I did almost 9 months of chemo. I lost 75 pounds. I lost every bit of hair on my body. I was sick as a dog. But I lived. I survived it. And that's the bottom line. And I always
do have a reminder, though.
Yeah, but if that's the worst of it.
Yeah, I love your attitude about it. I do.
Really, I mean, well, you know what? I'll tell you, the attitude comes from two things. Well, a bunch of things. Of course, wife and children and family and all that stuff. But when I first got sick and we would go out somewhere, that was what did it at first. 'Cause excuse me, you would see the look on people's faces as soon as I enter a room. Like everybody, you could just see it on them. Oh, here comes the dead guy. And I was pale. I was thin. I wasn't, and I would have to, hi, and act like I don't see it.
Right.
But that was one of the big things. Because immediately saying to myself, I don't want to be known as that guy.
Yeah.
But then the other thing, and I've told the story on here before, when I started my program, I'd have to go in for chemo every other week. And I'd have to stay for five days because the chemo was pumped into me 24 hours a day, 24/5. So I would stay, and they had. I mean, you were there. It was NYU in the city, big, tall, giant skyscraper building. They had one floor that was set up like a hotel, and all the cancer patients who had to stay, they had this hotel room, and they worked out a schedule. At this time, you come down, come back down to this floor to take care of this or to take care of that or to get a checkup. Like you had a schedule. Yeah. At this time, come in almost like a school. Like you go to your dorm, then you come down for a class. It was the same exact thing. if there was anything, unexpected happening, you just come down to that floor. Or if, God forbid, you're really having trouble moving, there was, I think, a button to hit or a phone, or there was a phone. But these rooms were beautiful. TVs and couches and beds and refrigerators.
You had some view of in that
room. A nice view of the water.
Yeah.
They really did it beautiful. And so when I had to go every other week, when I first started it, I'll never forget the first time I saw this girl. There was this girl who was on the same, she would be there the same weeks as me. And I was 32 when I was diagnosed. She looked like she was probably late 20s, early. I don't think she was the same age as me. I would say maybe 5 years younger. But this girl, like we were talking before, this girl, you stopped what you're doing. She was just beautiful. And she was very lively and friendly and smiley. And you would just stop what you're doing to look at her go by. And I watched this girl deteriorate through the months. And we were about, so I started chemo in October of 2002. The last round of chemo I had in 2022, towards Christmas, that was the last time I ever saw that girl, was that week in December. And I watched, she was getting worse and worse. She had, twice as many tubes in me as I had. She had a lot more monitors. She looked, all this gorgeous blonde hair was gone.
Yeah.
The smile was still there, but very weak. She was very drawn, and you would think she was in her, like she was an old lady who lived to be 90. She just went from one extreme to the other. And I never saw her again. I never knew her name. I have no idea what became of her. And I've told the story before on here. For all I know, she might live right next door to this place, and has 5 kids and is banging every guy she knows and having a great time.
Yeah,
I don't know, but because the last time I watched this girl deteriorate, and the last time I saw her, she looked terrible. That stuck with me, and I'm like, I could have been that. How do you not have a good attitude after seeing that and realizing, that's not me?
Yeah. Huh? Well, the shirt says it all. You've always, since day one, even when you were on crutches for 2 years?
Almost 3.
Almost 3 years. You always kept your sense of humor, so I think it's just, it was in you just to be positive.
I do think that's half the battle.
I think that's half.
Yeah, I think it's just as important as the meds. And believe me, I had my moments. Believe me, which I think you may have been to.
Yeah, a couple of them. Yeah,
absolutely. But
there's one thing I remember about when you were in the room. I'll never forget it as long as I live. I was leaving, and you were sitting on the bed, and you had all your CDs spread out on the bed. Mm-hmm. And I came to and I went to the doorway, and something made me turn around just to look back at you and just to say, "I'll see you, buddy."
Okay.
And you were like leaning on you had your hands like leaning down like this, and you just looked up at me and you said, "This sucks."
I don't remember that at all.
I will never forget it as long as I live.
Wow.
And I walked away saying, "This poor fucking guy, young man, young family." I was like,
"Oh
Jesus
yeah,
Christ."
The kids. Zach was when I was diagnosed. It was a month before he was turning 2. So
Sammy was 4?
So Sammy was
5.
Sammy was 3.5 at the time.
3.5.
But it definitely sucked. I missed out, and I do feel I kind of lost a few years because I was laid up so much. But again, in the grand scheme of things, we're talking, 9 months of chemo and being laid up for. So in the grand scheme of things, we're talking about 9 months. Kind of got my life back a little bit, even though I was on crutches. Still missed a lot with the kids. And definitely missed a lot for 3 years, but definitely got my life back after the amputation.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, it was a very short window of time. And, again, I came out of it fine. Plus, though, the kids don't remember a thing of it, which, to me, that's the main thing right there. I'm thrilled that they don't.
Because if you think about it, it's less than 5% of your whole life so far.
Right. That's exactly what I mean. It's such a small window.
Yeah.
All right. It sucked at the time, but all right. It was a small window. I missed a lot. of them during that age between, my kids' age of 2 and 5, I would say I missed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they don't remember it, and they're, I like to think they're fine, and they don't, have nothing harboring.
They haven't asked you about when they see that?
Oh yeah, we've had discussions
Your
about
prosthetic?
it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I remember just a few days after being home from the amputation, it's still wrapped up and still bloodied, and it hadn't. It was still swollen. It was stitched up. And I remember one day Zach sitting on the couch with me, and he just he's looking at it. He's going like that. And I brought him over to the side, but I had a little talk with him. Daddy had a little issue, but he's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. And I know it's gross, but it'll be fine. But again, he doesn't remember any of that. He doesn't recall. I don't think he remembers a time I didn't have a leg. I don't think he can remember a time where I did have my leg.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because the amputation, in August, it'll be 19 years.
Holy crap.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he was only...
Because he's, 25?
He'll be 24 in November.
24.
So he was only...
5.
He was 4, going on 5 at the time of the amputation. So, yeah, he doesn't remember. And it was never really a thing after that. The amputation was the right move.
I remember you telling me many times. I told the doctor, I want it off. Yeah.
And this doctor, who, it's a very strange thing, because the doctor, I was on crutches for 3 years because we tried to save the leg. The first so what they did, they took bones from, because, you have 2 bones between your knee and your ankle. There's 2 bones there. So they took pieces of those. They took pieces of the smaller bone. Was that the fibula? Tibula?
Tibula.
And then what's the bigger one?
Fibula.
Fibula?
Yeah. You're talking about the shin bones?
Yeah.
Yeah, the tibia and the fibula.
One's big. The other one is really thin. They took the thin one, they took my femur out between the hip and the knee. It was gone. And they took that small bone and put it in there with a cadaver bone. The idea was that thin bone was then going to grow and basically become a femur.
Yeah.
And because it was my bone, they said it'll mesh with the top and the bottom, and you'll be as good as new. What they didn't tell me was that surgery has a very low success rate.
Yeah.
So this surgeon, he saved my life because he took the tumor out, which was on the femur, but he saw very early on that this wasn't working, and I would go for my appointments, sometimes waiting for hours. I would literally get 5 minutes with him if I was lucky, and he wouldn't even touch, like to take a look or anything. He would ask me stupid questions. How's the family? You seen any movies? Like stupid questions, like what is going on here? Eventually, after 3 years of that, went and got a second opinion, and that doctor's like, oh yeah, you're with this doctor? Yeah, he's known for this surgery, and then he showed me the data. It had not even a 10% success rate.
Wow.
So he goes, I personally think you're never going to get any better. This is it. And I was like, well, that's unacceptable. So I said, well, can we amputate? He said, you can. He goes, but that's a big decision. All right. He said, no. He goes, we're not going to say yes to that based on one conversation. He said, you're going to go home and you're going to think about it. A few months later, I had to, still going for scans every few months, checkups. I had so many surgeries trying to correct everything and trying to get it all to work. It was a mess in there. Metal rods, screws, wires, more bones. They would graft bones from my hip, put it in there. And the metal rods and the screws were broken. They would break inside the leg. It was a mess. So I had to go for tests and an MRI. So this new doctor calls me up and he says, I hate to tell you this. He goes, but your leg is such a mess in there. He says, we can't see what's going on in the MRIs. He goes, it's really a mess. He goes, there is something in there that looks like another tumor. He goes, but I don't think it is. He goes, I just think it's such a mess in there. So much is broken. He goes, we just can't tell. He goes, we're going to have to open you up. He goes, so since we're throwing you on the table, since you're going to be under anesthesia, he goes, if you want to do the amputation, that's the time to do it. I said, okay, let's do it. So then they took from the leg from the knee to the foot, and they put that up here because they cut me right here. They cut me really, high up. So all this is from down here.
Wow.
To extend my
I didn't
stump.
know that.
Yeah. My only regret, because there's different types of amputations. Now this would have been.
I didn't even know that.
This would have been ugly as sin, but I wish I had done it. There's a type of amputation where they'll do what they did. They take from below the knee and they put the leg up here, but then they have. All right, so let's say. All right, so this is the bone. This is where the rest of the leg would be. This is the amputated part. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go like this. So, what they have this type of amputation where. So your stump ends just above the knee. Where right here they add the foot, but the foot isn't out like this. The foot hangs down, and it's backwards. Well, no, it's not backwards. It's so the top of the foot is facing front, right? No, I had that wrong. So the foot is backwards. So the top of the foot is facing this way. So now the heel, which is the round part of your foot, is now facing this way so that you can bend it and it looks like a knee. You follow?
I do, yeah.
So then this part, the socket of the prosthetic leg, then goes inside the foot. And so now basically you have a knee now, so you can you can run, you can climb foot over foot going upstairs. So if I take the prosthetic leg off, I look like a freak because I have a foot hanging down. But
right.
I wear my prosthetic, 8. Oh my goodness! Look at this.
Is that who I think it is?
It sure is. What in the world is going on here? Yeah, I'm on the air.
Can I come in?
Like you have to ask.
I got somebody with me who's going to blow your mind. What's your name, man?
Michael.
Michael?
Kaplan. We met a long time ago.
You're a comic.
No.
No.
He's an actor.
Richie Minervini right now.
Richie Minervini is here.
Are you on the air right now?
Yes. It's a pleasure to meet you. How you doing?
How are you? Good to see you.
What's happening?
Michael.
Wow. Are you guys sticking around or?
Well, he happens to be in town. I'm taking
Yeah.
him
I
to
come by see the old.
Absolutely. I heard you guys were just here a few weeks ago, right?
I've been
We did a benefit
out.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Back. Yeah.
Wow.
What a great setup.
This is I would.
You want to do?
I would love to get you in here one day when you have time, and I mean you're.
I'll be back in August. I'll give
Okay.
you a shout.
Oh, that would be great. That'd be
Talk to
great.
him and he'll talk to you.
Okay.
But what a great
Mr.
setup.
Cole.
Oh yeah, this is great. We have a good time.
I remember when it was like used to be like this big, right?
Yes.
Joey, wasn't it
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
tiny?
yeah, but now this guy.
And then you had Chris Roach and that filled the whole freaking room.
Yeah, right.
But whenever he's the godfather of all Long Island.
Yes,
comedy,
he is.
so when he's
Started
in
it all.
town,
Oh,
He's
he's
like
such a
the
master
sun, and
man,
all the
this guy.
comedians and the planets just hover around him. And I was
Yes.
blessed enough to have him sleep in my house last night.
Oh, very nice.
Show an audience.
Did he?
Well, good to see you guys.
Good to
You
see
too,
you.
Joey.
Be in touch. I'll call you because I'm off over the summer now.
Yes, that'd be
See
great.
you, Joey.
Thank you, guys.
Be well.
Wow.
Wow.
I wish I had a camera set up over there.
I wanted to tell him I didn't laugh at your jokes.
I know he would have been like, "You're the one," and he would have started sketching. So that was Joey Cola and Richie Minervini just walked
I don't
in.
know him.
And Richie Minervini started. I'm glad he walked out because I can't remember the name of the club. Was it no, not Chuckles?
Chuckles.
It was a club in Huntington. He basically was one of the first. He's like he was the first guy to open a comedy club on Long Island.
Oh, really?
Or one of the first. But Joey got his start playing his clubs. Adam Ferrara got his start playing his clubs. Jackie the Joke Man, Eddie Murphy.
Wow.
All these guys started because Rob Bartlett, Bob Nelson, all these guys got their start from him.
Is he a comic or just?
He's done. I think he's done a little bit, but he's mainly just the club owner who just gave these guys. Because he was the first one to do it, so there were no, the rules weren't really set up yet. So these guys had they can go up on stage pretty much anytime they wanted. They can experiment. He just gave them all the time they wanted.
Yeah.
Bob Nelson, Jackie Martling, and Rob. Did I say Rob Bartlett, Jackie Martling, and Eddie Murphy? I forget. They even called themselves something like the Three Brothers or something like that, because they would go on stage together and just riff and improv and see what came out of it. Because that doesn't happen these days.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't happen. It's, go up on
Everything's
stage. You got
scheduled-
7 minutes.
scheduled, yeah.
Set up, premise, set up, punch. Like, you don't get stage time to just go up there and wing it and see what happens.
No.
So these guys, these Long Island legends, Jack and the Joke Man, Eddie Murphy, Bob Nelson, Rob Bartlett, Joey Cola, Adam Ferrara, Kevin James a little bit later. These guys honed their craft all because of that man.
Wow.
All because of that man. So as a fan of comedy, especially the Long Island scene, I've known who that is for a long time. Never had the pleasure of meeting him before. I've seen him because I used to go to the clubs, when I was old enough to go. So I've known who he is forever, but never met him. So that was a big personal thrill. And then he's coming. And I forget. I want to say he lives upstate somewhere these days.
Oh,
like he's been out of the game for a long time. But yeah, still. I mean, but he keeps in touch. He knows what's going on. But yeah, he's not in the game that much anymore. I think once in a while he might put together a fundraiser of some sort. But he's really not in the game as much. So so Joey just brought him around. And then Joey, of course, I've praised Joey, since I've been in this room. Just, one of the greatest guys ever. Wow, that was really cool. So anyway, so the foot. And then that foot would have been the knee, and I would have had a knee, which would have given me a more normalcy when it comes to doing stuff. But, all right. Wow, that really threw me.
Yeah, I see that, yeah.
Joey hasn't been in here in a long time, and he's been promising for a
We
long
were
time.
just talking about this a week or two ago. About Joey
Yes,
Cola.
we were.
Yeah.
Because
I've been dying to tell him that story.
Should we tell him? Should we tell him?
I don't know.
I'm not sure about that either.
What was it, 24 years ago?
Yeah, 22. 22 years ago.
22.
Yeah, it was 2002. Yeah, that one of our very first murder mysteries that we did was in a governor's club.
Yeah.
That's no longer around. But yeah. All right, let me read some comments and then we'll get on out of here. When my grandfather was in the Army, he knew a lot of guys named Roger. Oh my goodness. The sergeant says to the soldier, "Why are you scratching yourself, soldier?" Soldier replies, "Because I'm the only one that knows where it itches, sir." What the hell? Mary says, "Yes, all cancer sucks." John Rusciello, "I love when the people came to visit me in Stony Brook Cancer Floor for the first think they say, 'How do you feel?' Oh, I feel great, asshole." Yeah.
That's funny.
That didn't bother me as much because I expected that. And a lot of times, what bothered me is the people that don't know what to do or say. They act differently around you. That's the stuff that used to bug me. Yeah. Mary Bourne, chemo really does make you feel bad. Oh, chemo kicked my ass, Mary. Mary, you sound like you have experience with this. Now back to your story. Yeah. But yeah, I was finishing up the story anyway, and it's time for us to go. That was really cool. That was I wish I had a camera set up over there. I didn't. Otherwise, I would have put them on anyway, even though they weren't staying. But we are definitely going to hold Joey to that.
Well, he did say he's off this summer.
Yep. He contacted me back in May, and he's the one that hooked me up with Claudia Sherman, who was in here a few like a month ago. You were here for that, right? Oh no.
No, you told me about her.
Who was here? Was it Andy? Maybe somebody was here. But so Joey's the one who hooked me up with Claudia Sherman, great comedian. She's actually going to be performing. Knockem Dead Comedy Podcast presents The Down and Outs. Claudia Sherman, that's her in the purple shirt, and Claudia Sherman and Gretchen.
I was supposed to be here.
Oh, is that what it was? Oh,
My
okay.
mother got sick.
Oh, right.
They're funny.
They're very funny.
They're funny.
The Down and Outs, they make these quick TikTok type videos.
Yeah.
So look them up. The Down and Outs. Claudia Sherman was a comedian in the 80s and 90s, maybe early 2000s. She stopped. She stopped because she was having, family. She was raising a family and decided to. She wanted to be, home with her kids instead of traveling the country. But now she's back. She's back at it with the Down and Outs, and she's going to be performing. The Gov's Comedy Club podcast presents the Down and Outs Saturday, October 5th, Yeah, and this was Joey who set me up with them. That's how I got to know them. And now
Oh,
we're
so they're
producing their
playing
show.
here.
They're playing in the Giga Room.
Wow.
Saturday, October 5th. Opening for them is Nancy Parker. And yours truly will be hosting that night. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Gov's Comedy Club podcast is also hosting the Clash of the Islands, Staten Island and Long Island. That's July 19th. So that's coming up. Mike Pachetti and friends, Greg and Rob, Tony Landolfi, and Irene Bremis is headlining. That's going to be a fantastic show, folks. Don't miss that. And, of course, this weekend, don't forget our pal, Hershey and the Keegs, who I hope you guys watched last night. It was a great show. They had Chris Monty as their guest. But the Keegs, Mike Keegan, this weekend performing at the Brokerage with Hugh Van Well and Carla Okeson and Sheba Mason. That's going to be a great one. Don't miss that. And like I mentioned, Chris Monty, he's going to be at the Giga Room July 12th. Then the very next night, July 13th, he'll be at the Brokerage. July 19th, like I said, come see Mike Pachetti and friends. And then mention Hershey and the Keegs. Well, the other half of that duo, Hirschman, Mark David Hirschman, he's going to be performing August 8th right here in Governor's Comedy Club. He's given me 5 minutes that night, so you got a couple of opportunities to see me. And like I said, Knockem Dead Comedy. We are performing at the Brokerage with one of our hilarious audience interactive murder mystery shows at the Brokerage on September 27th. The very next night, September 28th, we'll be here in the Giga Room performing our Triple X game show. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then, like I said, don't forget October 5th with the Down and Outs. We are working on another night, November 2nd. We're putting together a show in the Giga Room, but it's still not finalized yet. But keep that date open. And go to Knockem Dead Comedy to see our full schedule, what we got going on, and information on how you can hire us for your event. And, of course, go to govs.com to see their full schedule and make your reservations to some great comedy shows. Let's see, this weekend, as I mentioned, Mike Keegan. Oh, Eden Scher is here tonight. Eden Scher, do you know who that is?
No.
You might know if you saw her. She's an actress, but she's making an appearance here tonight.
Daughter of Dinah?
Dinah Scher.
Oh, I thought you said Shore.
Oh, S-A-S-H-E-R. Eden Scher. I think you might know if you saw her. She was on some TV show. I forget. Tomorrow night, the Zarna Garg Family Podcast is doing a live taping here in Governors. This weekend at Governors, you'll see Eric D'Alessandro, who is fantastic. This Monday, you'll see the comedian named Modi. He will be here Monday night. But also this weekend on a Governor's stage, you can see John Butera. Like I said, Mike Keegan, Carl Okerson, Nick Callis, Rob Falcone, Billy Geyer, and your favorite, Fat Jay.
My favorite.
Just some of the comedians you'll see on a Governor's stage this weekend. Yes, Mary is a cancer survivor, she says. Very happy to hear you're still with us, Mary.
Very happy, Mary.
And hope there's no long-lasting effects to you. Hope you're doing well. Anything you want to promote or talk about before we go?
Bun cakes.
Bun cakes.
You know, I work at a nonprofit, right?
Yes.
A lady yesterday, she goes, "Oh, I made a cake for the staff."
Oh, that's very nice.
So it's a bun cake. I said, "Excuse me, but where's the middle of the cake?" She goes, "Well, it's a bun cake." I said, "Okay, but where is the middle of the cake?"
It's like a giant donut.
But you're robbing me of another slab of cake.
Slab of cake.
You understand? Bun cakes make no sense to me.
Because of the hole in the middle? Did you ever see My Big Fat Greek Wedding?
Yes.
When they present the bun cake?
Yes.
And they're like, bun cake?
Yeah.
And they're like trying to explain. So funny.
That is fun. I like the Windex better.
Yes. That's a great movie.
Yeah.
And then they bastardized the whole thing because now there's, they made like 5 movies.
Oh,
they did
yeah.
the TV show.
Yeah, the first one was great.
First one was great. All right. That is it. We're getting out of here. Happy Juneteenth to you. Happy Father's Day to you. Hope you had a good time.
You.
Thank you, pal.
Yeah, it was
we'll
great.
see you next week. And let's see. Is there anything I missed that had to get out today? I don't think so. Father's Day, Willie Mays. We talked about Juneteenth. Yeah, we're good. All right, so today is Wednesday. That is it for Gov's Comedy Club podcast. Tomorrow, of course, at 9 a.m., Coffee with the Dog. At 11 a.m., I'll be here with Frank tomorrow. We have, oh, jeez, I forgot the guy's name. We have a musical guest tomorrow. Let me look it up.
He plays music.
He's a musician on Long Island. His big thing is that a few years ago he got to play with Paul McCartney.
Wow.
Whose birthday was yesterday. And Rob Safarth's birthday is today. So happy birthday, Rob. But yeah, this guy played with... this guy got to play with Paul McCartney, so we'll hear all about that tomorrow. And we'll get him to play. I'm sure Frank will play too. Here it is. His name is James Liverani. Not Liberace, Liverani. Liverani. That's tomorrow. James Liverani will be joining me and Frank tomorrow. And then, of course, tomorrow also...
Oh, yeah, there he is.
What?
Frank was listening.
Oh, thank you, Frank. We also have, let's see, tomorrow's Thursday. We have Circling the Drain tomorrow night as well. And then Friday, Coffee with the Dog, myself, Donversations. Friday.
Why don't you always have it at the ready? You have to turn around like a Rubik's Cube.
Because I stick this out so the camera picks up the logo, although it's not even on camera right now. Don's guest this Friday is comedian Dave Landau. He's a great comedian, big name in the comedy world, so that'll be a good show as well. All right, we're out of here. Thank you, pal.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for sticking with us. We've been going
Thank
late
you.
pretty much every day for like a week now.